is Matt Robinson. He's senior economist at Moody's Analytic. Thanks so much for joining us, Matt. So tell us, first of all, 19,600 more workers added to payrolls in Australia. Is this really down to the mining industry? Is that where the bulk of these jobs are going?
Well, Lindsay, it's reflective of quite a strong domestic economy generally. The Australian economy has added a bit over 200,000 jobs in the last 7 months, which is really strong employment growth. That's around 2% of the workforce, almost 2% of the workforce, which is extraordinarily strong employment growth. What's particularly telling is the degree of full-time employment growth. Full-time employment has grown in each of the past 7 months, and that really is a sign that businesses are confident, they're willing to add to permanent head staff. They're confident that the recovery that we're seeing in Australia is self-sustaining and will continue to be strong. It's certainly being led by the mining sector. We've seen reports coming out of China. The level of demand for both iron ore and coal is continuing to get stronger, and we'll likely see very strong price rises this year for both of those commodities.
So a huge job surge then over the last 6 or 7 months. Tell us more about the nature of these jobs. What industries are adding so many jobs here?
Well, the resources sector is one of the strongest areas at the moment, buoyed by all of that emerging market demand, particularly China, for Australia's key commodities of iron ore, coal, natural gas, etc. And that's leading to very strong employment growth for qualified trade staff in the resources sector. But as the resources sector starts to absorb more and more workers, that's starting to exacerbate some of the shortages more generally in, say, the construction sector, the manufacturing sector, and also the services sector. And so as we're seeing that strong employment growth, it's becoming even more difficult for employers elsewhere in the country to find the qualified staff that they're looking for, and that's what's driving some of the employment growth elsewhere.
Well, what does it mean for immigration then? Are we going to see Australia getting workers from abroad?
Well, it's certainly an attractive place at the moment. An unemployment rate that, like was said before, almost half that of the US or Europe at 5.3%. It certainly means that the jobs growth here is much stronger, and the country's butting up against some of the capacity constraints that were emerging 2 years ago. So certainly there is opportunities for migrant workers coming in, and we're likely to see more of that.
Matt Robinson, senior economist at Moody's Analytics. Thanks so much for joining us.